Okay, so let's dive into this mountain of real estate stuff you sent our way. Articles, on everything from that '08 crash to tech hubs and co-housing. You even sent stuff about Bitcoin ETFs.
Well,
Looks like you're thinking big about the next chapter.
yeah, you're definitely doing your research, especially as you navigate your 40s and 50s.
For sure.
And what's interesting here, what's fascinating, is you're not just looking at, like, just buying a house.
Right.
You're looking at upgrading your entire lifestyle. Like, you want nature, good weather,
Yeah.
and like a community that gets this whole future of tech thing. So how do we make sure that you don't jump into a market that's about to go bust, right? A and D, find a place that checks all those boxes.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do today.
Yeah, that's our mission today. First things first, let's rewind a bit.
Okay.
The articles you sent about that whole real estate bubble in 2008,
Yeah,
those are smart reading for anyone who's thinking about investing right now.
absolutely.
I mean, just seeing those average house prices from back then is wild.
Oh,
Like $100,000 in the '80s. Then it jumped to over $300,000 at the peak.
yeah.
And then bam, the crash.
And remember, that crash wasn't just some freak accident. It was
No.
a perfect storm of just bad decisions. You had these subprime mortgages where people were getting loans they couldn't really afford.
Yeah.
You had predatory lending practices taking advantage of buyers.
Totally.
And then this whole Wall Street scheme of bundling those risky mortgages into these investments
Oh, yeah.
called securitization. It was like a house of cards just waiting to collapse.
So picture this. You're told you can totally afford this dream home, maybe even pressured into it, right?
Yeah.
Then interest rates go haywire, and suddenly you owe more than the house is even worth.
Yeah.
That's the nightmare of the bubble bursting.
Exactly. And that's why I think understanding what caused 2008
Yeah.
is so crucial for you today. It's about knowing those warning signs,
Yeah.
the red flags to watch out for.
The good news is, it seems like we did learn some lessons from that whole mess.
Oh, for sure.
The articles talked about increased regulation,
Yeah.
responsible lending practices,
Sure.
more emphasis on financial education. It's like, hey, let's not do that again.
Absolutely.
Right.
There's been a real push to make, a more stable financial system.
Sure.
But here's the catch, though.
Okay.
Experts still warn against, like, risky lending practices
Oh, yeah.
popping up again. So imagine, like, those no money down, get rich quick schemes
Right.
making a comeback. That's what we need to be wary of.
Yeah, for sure.
Strong consumer protection is key,
Yeah.
especially if you're making a major investment.
So we're smarter, but not totally out of the woods yet.
Got it. Okay, so let's fast forward to the future a little bit.
All right.
You also sent some articles about tech and real estate.
Right.
And things are changing fast. Bitcoin ETFs, these magnificent 7 tech giants.
Yeah.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
Here's the thing. Even if you're not planning on buying a house with Bitcoin anytime soon,
Right.
these trends signal how rapidly the financial landscape is evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And those magnificent 7 companies.
Like your Apples, your Amazons, your Googles, right, and the others.
Sure.
They're not just influencing what gadgets we use.
Yeah.
They're shaping entire cities and economies. So understanding their impact can help you see where opportunity might be flowing.
Right.
Where those tech-savvy communities are forming.
Oh, okay. So it's not just about picking the location.
Right.
It's about picking a location that's riding that wave of the future.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But let's be real.
Okay.
Buying a traditional house isn't the only option anymore.
Not at all.
Right. You've got all these articles about co-living
Uh-huh.
and rural communities.
Yeah.
It's like choosing your own adventure.
Yeah, and that ties directly into your desire for a lifestyle change.
Okay.
So co-living, for example, could be a perfect fit.
Okay.
Like you get your own private space,
Uh-huh.
but you share common areas with like-minded people, like built-in social life,
I like it.
potentially lower costs,
Okay.
and often a focus on sustainability, which, seems important to you.
Hold on. You're speaking my language now. These articles mention places like La Borda
Yeah.
in Spain,
Uh-huh.
Hundredfold Farm in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
even Genesee Gardens in Michigan.
Right.
They're not just talking about this theoretically.
Right.
People are actually living this way and loving it,
Absolutely.
and they're seeing real benefits.
Oh, yeah.
Some folks are saving like $200 or more a month compared to just renting traditionally.
That's right.
Plus, there's that whole built-in community aspect,
Yes.
especially for someone who's single and maybe looking for a more social environment.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm sold on the co-living concept.
Yeah.
But what about the other end of the spectrum? You've got all this research on rural communities
Yeah.
and the appeal for remote workers.
Mm-hmm.
So is that something you see fitting into your vision at all?
It's definitely worth considering. Like,
Yeah.
the articles highlight the peace and quiet,
Sure.
the wide open spaces,
Yeah.
and potentially a lower cost of living.
Right.
But we have to be realistic.
Yeah.
Healthcare access
Yeah.
can be a challenge in rural areas,
Yeah.
and there might be fewer job opportunities,
Yeah, that's true.
if you ever
Yeah.
decide to switch careers or something like that.
Right. It's all about weighing those pros and cons.
For sure.
Finding that sweet spot that fits your individual needs.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered the past and some like alternative living arrangements.
Yeah.
But you're also looking for some specific things in a location.
Okay.
Nature, good weather, and that tech-savvy vibe.
Gotcha.
Where do we even begin to narrow down the possibilities?
Well, if we start with the weather,
Okay.
since that seems like a major priority,
Yeah, for sure.
we can look at cities that are known for sunshine and mild winters.
Okay.
And don't worry, we'll explore options both in the U.S. and internationally.
Okay, let's get specific then.
All right.
Give me some names.
Okay.
Where could someone like you find their perfect spot?
Well, in the U.S., Charlotte, North Carolina often comes up, for its balance of sunshine and manageable temperatures.
Right.
Then you've got those California classics,
Yeah.
San Jose and San Francisco,
Sure.
although those come with, a higher cost of living.
Right, definitely.
And you've got Atlanta, Georgia, which is known for, like, warmer weather compared to other U.S. cities.
Okay, those are some strong contenders in the U.S.
For sure.
But what about going global? You mentioned some pretty amazing international options in your research.
Absolutely. So if you're looking for a city that combines, like, strong tech infrastructure
Okay.
with beautiful surroundings, London's always a good bet. It's a global hub with a lot to offer.
London's a classic for a reason, yeah.
Yeah, even if the weather isn't always sunny.
Right,
Yeah.
true. But
Any other international hotspots that come to mind?
Helsinki, Finland is a fascinating one.
Okay.
It's got this reputation for being, like, tech-savvy and sustainable.
Yeah,
Plus, you're surrounded by this stunning natural beauty.
I like that. Then you've got Dubai, known for its futuristic architecture and ambitious projects,
Right.
and Seoul, South Korea, a global leader in technology and innovation.
Wow. Those are some seriously impressive choices.
Hmm.
But how do these cities, like, measure up when it comes to the practical stuff?
Yeah.
Like internet access,
right,
and, like,
yeah.
the whole tech scene.
Well, that's the beauty of it.
Okay.
They all excel in those areas.
Really?
Yeah, we're talking high-speed internet,
Okay.
robust 5G networks,
Yeah.
and thriving tech scenes that, like, attract talent from all over the world.
So it's really about finding the right cultural fit
Exactly.
for you.
Okay, I like that.
So
Imagine this. You're working remotely from a co-living space in Helsinki, surrounded by nature with, like, lightning-fast internet at your fingertips.
yeah.
That's the dream, right?
It definitely sounds appealing.
Yeah, it does.
But beyond, like, these specific locations,
Okay.
the key takeaway here is that you have options.
Like, the real estate landscape is changing,
Yeah.
and that's actually a good thing.
Okay, how
It
so?
means more choices, more flexibility,
Yeah.
and the chance to, like, truly design a lifestyle that fits you.
Okay, so it's not just about buying a house.
Right.
It's about designing a life.
Exactly.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
But with so much to consider,
Yeah.
where do we even go from here? Like, how do we help you make sense of it all?
That's where we dive even deeper.
You're listening to Echoes of Insight, where we dive deep into the topics shaping our world, from the planet and politics to health, consciousness, economy, and alternative lifestyles. If you're enjoying the journey, make sure to subscribe and share this podcast with others who love exploring new perspectives.
All right, we're back and ready to dive even deeper into this whole real estate adventure. Last time we talked about the lessons of 2008, those tech giants that are, like, shaping the world,
Yeah.
and those alternative living options like co-living in rural communities. But now it's time to get, like, seriously futuristic.
Yeah.
We got to talk about AI, smart cities, and how those things are going to, like, impact your real estate decisions.
It's like we're stepping into a sci-fi movie, but it's actually happening right now.
Yeah, for real.
And here's why this matters to you. Like, smart cities are going to be the magnets for opportunity in the coming years.
Okay.
They're going to attract businesses, jobs, and people who are, looking for a more connected, sustainable, and efficient way of life. So understanding what they are and how they work is like, it's like getting a sneak peek at the future of real estate.
Okay, so what exactly is a smart city?
Yeah.
Is it like robots, walking dogs, and flying cars delivering pizzas.
Well, maybe not that futuristic
Yeah.
yet, but the core concept is using technology to make urban living better.
Right.
So think like sensors that monitor traffic to reduce congestion,
I see.
smart grids that optimize energy consumption,
Okay.
buildings that adjust to the weather to save energy,
Oh, wow.
even apps that connect residents to local services and events. It's all about like creating a more integrated and responsive environment.
So it's not just about like cool gadgets.
Right.
It's about like solving real problems
Right.
and making life easier
Exactly.
and more efficient.
Yeah.
But how does this like translate into actual like real estate decisions? What should someone like you be looking for?
One word: sustainability. Smart cities are going to prioritize eco-friendly buildings, green spaces, walkable neighborhoods, and efficient transportation systems.
Okay, I like that.
So if you're investing in real estate, look for properties that like align with those values.
Okay.
They're likely to hold their value better
Yeah.
and attract tenants who are looking for that kind of lifestyle.
So you're saying like being eco-conscious isn't just good for the planet.
Yeah,
It's good for your wallet too.
exactly. Exactly.
But let's be honest, technology can have its downsides, right?
Yeah.
What about things like data privacy
Right.
and security?
Yeah.
All those sensors collecting information.
Yeah.
It's a little bit Big Brother-ish, isn't it?
You hit on a crucial point. The more connected our cities become, the more important data security and privacy become.
Right.
So look for cities and developers that are transparent about how they collect and use data. And that prioritize like resident control and consent.
Yeah.
It's not just about convenience, it's about protecting your rights.
That's a good reminder that like technology is a tool
Absolutely.
and it's up to us to use it wisely.
Yes.
Now you mentioned that like smart cities will attract businesses and jobs.
Right.
But what about the people who are like already living in those places?
Yeah.
What about like affordability and access?
That's another, critical aspect of smart city development.
Okay.
It's not just about attracting like the wealthy and tech savvy.
Right.
It's about creating inclusive communities that benefit everyone.
I like that.
So look for cities that are investing in affordable housing, accessible transportation, and programs that bridge the digital divide. These are signs of a city that's like thinking long term and prioritizing the well-being of all its residents.
So it's about finding that balance between progress and equity.
Yes.
Making sure that everyone gets to like participate in the benefits of these like technological advancements.
Sure.
Now let's talk about another tech buzzword that's like making waves in the real estate world.
Yeah.
Blockchain.
Yeah.
I know it's got something to do with cryptocurrency, but how does it actually like affect buying and selling property?
Blockchain is basically a digital ledger that records transactions in a secure and transparent way. Think of it like a supercharged notary public
All right.
that can, verify ownership, track history, and automate contracts.
I see.
In the real estate world, this could streamline the entire buying and selling process, reduce fraud,
I like it.
and even like open up new investment opportunities.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but break it down for me. How would this affect someone who's just looking to like buy a house or a condo?
Imagine this. You find your dream property.
Okay.
And instead of dealing with mountains of paperwork and weeks of back and forth,
Right.
the entire transaction is handled securely and efficiently on the blockchain.
Wow.
You can like verify ownership with complete certainty, cut down on closing costs,
Okay.
and even potentially buy a fraction of a property.
What if you can't afford the whole thing?
Hold on. So it's like making real estate transactions simpler, faster, and more secure.
Exactly.
And you mentioned something about buying a fraction of a property.
Right.
How does that work?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Blockchain enables something called fractional ownership,
Okay.
where you can buy like shares in a property,
Okay.
just like you buy shares of stock.
I see.
So this could make investing in real estate more accessible to people who, don't have the capital to buy a whole property outright.
So it's like democratizing real estate investment.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. But with all this talk about technology in the future,
Yeah.
it's easy to get like overwhelmed.
Oh, for sure.
How does someone like you, who's looking for like a lifestyle change and a place to call home, actually navigate all this?
That's where the emotional and financial preparation comes in.
Okay.
The singularity phase,
Yeah.
with all its rapid advancements, it's not just about like adopting new technologies.
Yeah. Right.
It's about adapting our mindsets and skill sets.
So it's not just about having latest gadgets. It's about having the like mental and financial tools
Exactly.
to thrive in a world that's like constantly changing.
For sure.
What are some practical steps people can take to like prepare themselves?
On the financial side,
Yeah.
it's about having a solid financial plan,
Okay.
understanding your risk tolerance,
Right.
and being comfortable with the volatility
Yeah.
that often comes with, emerging markets and technologies.
Sure.
It's also about like diversifying your investments,
Right.
not putting all your eggs in one basket.
So it's like the same old financial advice, but like amplified
Right.
in a world that's becoming increasingly complex.
Exactly.
And on the emotional side.
It's about, developing resilience,
Okay.
being adaptable and embracing like lifelong learning. The world's changing faster than ever.
Oh, yeah.
And the skills you have today might not be the skills you need tomorrow.
So being open to new ideas
Sure.
and willing to adapt is key.
It's almost like we need to become more like chameleons.
Yeah.
Able to like blend in and adapt to whatever environment we find ourselves in.
That's a good analogy.
Okay, maybe not literally,
Right. Right.
but I think you get the point.
For sure.
Okay, so we've covered like the tech side of things.
Yeah.
But what about the human element? Like, how do we find that sense of community and belonging in a world that's like increasingly digital?
That's a great question. And it's something we'll explore in depth in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll look at the role of like co-living spaces, intentional communities,
Yeah.
and even the ways that technology itself can be used to foster connection and build relationships.
I can't wait to dig into that. It's been an incredible journey so far, like exploring the past, present, and future of real estate.
Yeah, for sure.
And to our listener, stick with us for the grand finale where we'll put all the pieces together
Yeah.
and help you chart your course in this exciting new landscape. Okay, so we've journeyed through the ups and downs of real estate history, right?
Yeah.
Explored the mind-blowing world of like smart cities and blockchain.
It's been quite a ride.
And now it's time to like bring it all home.
All right.
Literally, we've got to talk about finding that perfect place,
Yeah.
that community where you can really thrive in this rapidly changing world.
And it's not just about bricks and mortar, is it? It's about finding like a lifestyle that aligns with your values, your needs,
Yeah.
your vision for the future, especially for someone like you, navigating life as a single person in your 40s or 50s.
Right.
That sense of community and connection can be crucial.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's easy to get like caught up in all the tech and the trends.
Oh, for sure.
But ultimately, it's about finding a place where you feel happy,
Yeah.
supported, and connected.
Absolutely. That's the goal, right?
And thankfully, there's a whole movement happening right now.
Like a shift away from those traditional housing models
Yeah.
towards something that's like more sustainable, more community oriented,
I like it.
and more aligned with our, evolving values.
Okay, so we've touched on co-living
Right.
and rural communities,
Yeah.
but there's a whole spectrum of options out there.
Oh, for sure.
What about like those eco-villages I keep hearing about? Are those just for like hippies?
Not at all. Eco-villages are becoming increasingly popular with people from all walks of life
Really?
who are seeking a more, sustainable and community-driven way of life. And they
Yeah.
often incorporate things like permaculture, renewable energy, and
Yeah.
shared decision-making processes.
So it's like taking that whole co-living concept
Right.
and like expanding it to an entire village,
Yeah,
right? Creating like a self-sufficient, eco-conscious community.
exactly.
That's pretty amazing.
And it's not just about being like off-grid. Many eco-villages are also actively engaged with, the wider community,
Sure.
promoting education, sustainable practices, and social change.
It's like a microcosm of a better world,
Right.
a model for how we can like live in harmony with each other.
For sure. And the planet. And remember, you were interested in finding a place with like a tech-savvy vibe.
Yes, definitely.
Well, many of these intentional communities are embracing technology but
Okay.
in creative ways, using it to connect with the outside world, share resources,
I see.
and enhance their sustainability efforts.
So it's like the best of both worlds,
Yeah,
combining the benefits of technology with that focus on community and nature.
right.
Now, we've talked a lot about like different living arrangements.
Yeah.
But what about the location itself?
Okay.
You mentioned some incredible places around the world that offer like good weather, nature, and that tech-forward mindset.
Right, and this is where it gets really exciting.
Okay.
We've already talked about cities like Helsinki, Dubai, and Seoul, which offer incredible tech infrastructure, stunning architecture, and vibrant cultural scenes.
But what about for someone who's looking for like a more laid-back vibe,
Okay.
maybe closer to nature? What would you suggest?
Well, there's some amazing options in smaller cities and towns as well.
Okay.
Think about places like Asheville, North Carolina,
Okay.
nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains with a thriving arts and music scene.
I like it.
Or Bend, Oregon,
Yeah.
a haven for outdoor enthusiasts
Right.
with a growing tech sector.
Okay. These places sound idyllic, but how do you even begin to choose?
Yeah.
What are the key factors someone should consider when making this decision?
It really comes down to your personal priorities.
Yeah.
Like, what are your non-negotiables? Is it access to nature,
Yeah.
a strong sense of community,
Yeah.
a thriving tech scene,
Yeah.
or a particular climate?
Yeah.
Once you've identified those must-haves,
Okay.
you can start narrowing down your options.
So it's like creating a checklist,
Right.
like a vision board for your ideal life,
Exactly.
and then finding the place that best matches that vision.
Yeah, and remember, it's not just about the physical location.
Okay.
It's about the people
Right.
and the energy of the place.
Yeah.
So visit different communities,
Okay.
talk to the locals,
Sure.
get a feel for the vibe.
It's like dating, but for your future home.
Yeah, exactly.
Take your time, explore your options,
Yeah,
and trust your gut.
trust your gut.
Now, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive,
Oh, yeah.
from the history of real estate to like the future of living.
We've been everywhere.
What's the one key takeaway you want our listener to walk away with?
I think the key takeaway is that the future is not predetermined.
Okay.
It's being shaped by the choices we make today.
Right.
So whether you're considering, investing in a smart city apartment, exploring co-living options, or dreaming of a rural retreat,
Right.
the key is to be informed, be proactive, and be bold in creating the kind of life and community you want to be a part of.
Beautifully said. It's been an inspiring journey.
I agree.
And we hope this deep dive has given you, the listener, the knowledge and the confidence to, navigate this exciting new world of possibilities. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Echoes of Insight. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who loves exploring big ideas. Together, let's keep the conversation going. See you next time.